Welcome back to Market on Close. I'm Oliver Rennick. Let's talk about the action today with Mr. Scott Bauer joining us, the CEO at Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, what do you like in a market with a lot of red to pick from if you're in the market for buying dips?
There's a lot of tech. There's a lot of big tech that I think is very interesting here, Oliver. I'm talking about the Microsofts, the Googles, the Amazons here that have all come down to pretty major support areas. I think it's real difficult to go in spots like, some of the stay-at-home plays that we had seen, like a Zoom, a DocuSign. Some of those, I think it's a little bit more difficult. Those stocks are really in no man's land. But if I'm dipping in right here, I'm dipping on the big ones here because the technicals are there for it. In many cases, we're down, 10% plus over their off the highs. I mean, look at Apple. So those are the places I'm dipping my toes. But I'm not scared of this market. I think this is just opportunity here. I think this is catch up. I don't understand, and obviously, the market knows better than I do. I don't understand why we haven't seen this rise in yields faster or sooner than we have. I mean, all transparency here. All transparency here. I've been long put spreads in the TLT for a very long time. TLT is the 20-year bond ETF and works inversely to rates. And I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting for the moves like this because, to me, it was just a matter of when, right? Not if, but when. And so, fortunately, at least for that position, the Fed kind of, they finally came out and said, okay, this is going to happen now.
Yep.
Now, what I think is happening.
Well, congrats on the payday, Scott.
Yeah.
Overdue, but you're not the only one. Believe me,
No.
If we had a show exclusively with buried TLT bears, then we'd have a long, long show.
For sure. But I think what's really hitting it though is the fact that Powell's been really calm, cool, collected through this whole inflationary transition period, if you will.
Sure.
And over the last day or
Too
two,
calm?
I think he's showing a little bit of nervousness about the inflation situation, that maybe it's not so transitory as he has been pounding his fist for the last 6 to 9 months. And quite frankly, to give him credit, I think we have to give him credit for a long time for managing this great. But I think now he's starting to show some cracks in some of that confidence, and I think that's what's spooking the market today.
I'm with you there 100% of the way, Scott Bauer. So now that the TLT trade is going our way, then I'll put myself in your camp. Then how do we kind of plan for what comes next, right? If someone's been looking for this bond yield move to happen, and a lot of people have, then what is the move from here? Do you bet that we're going to start ripping back towards those highs, or have we already hit a place that in the spring we saw it was difficult to really get through, and that is about 1.6?
Absolutely. The way I'm going to play it now is in the option space by selling iron condors, and we talk about that with certain stock strategies. Okay. You can do the same thing in TLT, meaning what I'm looking for is for TLT pretty much to level off here and just trade in a range. I mean, this is a massive, massive move it just made here. It did just break right through the 200-day moving average. That was the number I was looking for, was the 200-day moving average, right around 145 or so. We just saw it break through. I think we kind of level off here for a period of time, barring any other shock to the system coming out of Powell and the Fed. If we get obviously some emergency announcement that says, we're going to start this tapering next month or in 3 weeks, that's a game changer. I think with this spike in yields, sell-off in TLT, we start to level off.
Okay. Now, Scott, what in the risk camp, as you mentioned, tech, dipping your toe in Apple, what do you think will be most responsive? A similar question in terms of going back to Q1, where those companies that got hit, they're indeed the ones getting hit again today. ARC, high growth, high speed sales, but no earnings type companies. Scott, I mean, did that stuff already pay the price for its valuation over the last 6 months, or are we at fresh levels for those to start getting hit again?
No, I think they paid the price, but I'm not interested in those. I'm interested in ones that are actually showing earnings that can withstand some of these rate increases. You know, you have a company like a Microsoft that has so much cash on the sideline. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you would classify Square as a tech stock or where it really falls in. That's another one that I'm dipping my toes today. It's come down to a major support area. I think, you know, short run and long run, you're going to be real pleased if you did. And short run, I'm looking 2-3 weeks even, let alone 2-3 months.
All right. Scott Bauer with the specifics. I know I can always count on you. Appreciate it. Scott, wait, hold on. Bitcoin.
Uh-oh.
BTD there too?
You know what? Bitcoin is real tough. I mean, it has held up. It has held up in the face of just unbelievably negative, bearish news coming out of China. This 42 number is pretty important, and I know it dipped through there today. I think the bulls have to be happy if this can consolidate right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see 38, but if we can consolidate here end of month in 2 days, because the September 30th expiration is up in 2 days. If we can hold here, I think that's actually a positive for Bitcoin.
All right, interesting. So you've got a little bit more optimism here for BTC than it seems you do some of those high-speed secular thematic companies. Interesting. I like it, Scott. All right, finding more about the list of priorities here on the Buy the Dip list. All right, Mr. Bauer, good stuff. Always good conversation with Scott, Prosper Trading Academy.